Welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on IAP Podcast. This is Matt.
And this is Brandon.
And yes, well, opening day has come and gone. So, unfortunately, we've seen both sort of results for both sides of town, I should say.
Unfortunate for my team. Not so unfortunate for yours. It's a
True.
good start for the White Sox.
It was a surprising start, but that was also a surprising start against what I expect to be a bottom-feeding Twins team. So
Yeah, I thought the same thing a little bit listening to Sports Talk today. A lot of positive things about the Sox getting off to a good start, but I was also looking at, well, they beat the Twins. But I guess I wasn't able to watch any of the game, but from what I hear, it wasn't so much that they got the victory. It was the fundamental ball that the White Sox displayed, which hasn't been there in a couple of years, a couple of seasons. So I guess that's more of where the positive feedback was from yesterday's game. So it's good for the White Sox. Cubs can't hit, and I same thing too though is
yeah,
they played against Liriano in Pittsburgh, and Liriano shut down the Cubs last year. So maybe Liriano just has the Cubs number, and it was just one game. I looked at the lineup, the starting lineup, and I didn't think it was terrible. Like when I saw it, I even tweeted that I don't hate this starting lineup. I didn't hate the batting order. So in just one game, lot of season left. It's not like I'm expecting the Cubs to make any huge run at anything, but I just looking top to bottom at the opening day lineup, I didn't hate it.
yeah. I didn't get to see their opening day lineup, but I did watch, I guess, a condensed version of the Sox game last night. Just watching it, I ended up seeing the scoring plays, those at bats, some of the defensive highlights, and I guess the ninth inning for the closer for the closer's role.
Now, what did you watch that on? Like, what was that, something on MLB or?
Oh no, I just DVR'd the game.
Okay, you just kind of okay.
Yeah. So Chris Sale was good. He was exactly what we needed him to be at this point. And through seven and a third, only gave up three runs, and he had eight strikeouts. So I really can't complain there. He's just doing pitching work, and that's pretty much all it really is at this point for him. I was really surprised that they had Connor Gillespie batting third. But I understand it because of the new lefty-righty matchups that the Sox are really going to try to pride themselves on, seemingly going into this year and on tap for this season. Adam Eaton reminds me of Scott Sednick, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
He shouldn't. He's better. He's better than Scott Sednick. Come on.
But he does that like run on the ball of your feet thing. Like okay, yes, I know you're supposed to be on the balls of your feet when in an athletic stance or position, but this guy's literally, seemingly on his I shouldn't say literally, otherwise I'm Zach Zaidman, but he is seemingly on his tiptoes the entire time, and he has the.
He's fast. He's faster than Scott Sednick ever dreamed of.
And that's all fine, well, and good. I just don't want him being picked off. I just get on base. That's all I want you to do.
And he did for game one. Yeah, he takes a lot of pitches. From what I hear, he worked the count, and that's what you. It's really, really what you want. It's what the Cubs have been striving for, and the White Sox go and get it. So, good job.
Yeah, Jose Abreu hits the ball with a lot of anger, and I'm not trying to sound like Hawk here, but every hit that he had yesterday, and okay, fine, I shouldn't say every, but the two hits that he did have were struck with authority, and one just didn't want to drop and ended up over the right fielder's head for a double. Another one, just dived right in, angrily dived right in front of the left fielder for a very hard single. I mean, last year that would have been, an out. It would have been a fly out, and it would just dadgummit, yeah, and all that sort of, rah-rah clown stuff. But, oh, man, it was really nice.
And with Abreu, I'm sorry to cut you off, but with Abreu, I don't see why he can't hold this batting average up for the rest of the year, and he breaks records. Batting
Yeah,
500.
Hall of Famer. Just pay him to Cooperstown now. Send him on his way. He just needs one season.
No, but
Hey,
physical power is what I hear. Physical strength
yeah,
is what he's all about, I guess.
and he didn't seem like that much of a defensive liability at first base. I didn't see any errors. I don't even think an error was recorded. But overall, it was a fun game to watch, and it was just kind of like a relief of maybe this is how things can go. I ended up uh, calling up our evening show here in the city beautiful, and and said it was like a good day at the office. Everyone did their job, and it was work, but they got it done, and that's just the only way that I think that the rest of the season is going to go. And I hope the season goes. I just hope that they come in and they do their job right, especially for the young guys. If Adam Dunn is hitting anywhere near showing any sort of power, dump him at the deadline because some contender needs a left-handed power bat. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Detroit.
Trade Diaz now.
Yes, I'm close to that. I'm more like I'm almost mad it wasn't Viciedo that had 2 home runs yesterday because that guy, I don't have a very high ceiling for him. So
For
Viciedo,
oh, okay. Wow.
and it's just kind of like it's just icing on the cake whenever Deasa does something nice and doesn't get picked off,
Well,
especially
I
when
mean, if
he's
he's
not on
hitting,
base.
yeah, you
He's
can't get picked off
hit
when
home,
you're touching
hitting home
home.
run.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Let's not test him too much. He might find a way,
Like
but
again, same thing. I don't see why he can't hit 324 home runs.
right. Let's see. Just having heard some of the box score stuff about the Cubs game, you know what? Taking a scoreless tie into the 10th, that's a good thing. I'd
I
say.
mean, pitching wise,
Pitching, yeah,
and this a big part of this year, what you want as a Cubs fan is you want Samaja to look good, so that hopefully other teams want him because he's not too thrilled about sticking around with the Cubs. The Cubs have offered him extensions, and he thought he was worth more than what they were offering. So he's going to be looking to get out. So Cubs are going to, I'm sure, be looking to deal him around the trade deadline. So every start that he looks good and better for the Cubs because that means better prospects could be on the way for him.
yeah, you're absolutely right, and I fully back that model. I'm not a particularly a big fan of Samardzija. Um, I know other people are, and if he can go find some foolish team to pay him bank, go ahead, go do it. Go
Yeah.
get
Well,
your
I
money's
mean,
worth.
if he proves, in how many ever starts he gets before the All Star break, 12 starts, let's say, and he looks good, there will be teams that are gonna go, okay, yeah, he figured it out, and we're in the running, and we'll give up something for him. So hopefully he can keep it up, get some wins. It would be nice, I would like to see the Cubs win eventually a couple of games just to make me feel a little bit better. I'm not, yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah,
I know I want them to kind of finish near the bottom so they can get a better draft pick, but at the same time, I, year after year, it's like, okay, I've been rooting for them to lose for like 4 years now. It's time where I want to see some victories.
and I think you're going to start to see some progress. I think is, boy,
As we get
I'd
cookies,
almost say,
we need
yeah.
cookies.
Well, that's not Theo's not in the business of the bakery and making cookies. He's in there for a feast. It's uh, boy, I don't know. I don't want to say that he's going to bring up Baez or Bryant uh, or any of these other the talents that they're really high on and that the rest of baseball is very high on. I really don't think we're going to see them say June 1. I think at best you're going to start to see them maybe late August, August 15 or so, before the September call up.
On most of them, I agree. I don't. Baez, he might just force their hand. It would be. They talk about, well, it's because you want them to see at bats, but if he is, he's not going to get any better seeing mediocre pitching in the minors either, though. Like, if there comes a point
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, he's batting 340, he's got good power numbers. Like, what's the purpose of keeping him here? Bring him up and start him every day so he gets those bats in the majors and put him at second if you have to. I don't, whatever. You know, put him at
Yeah,
short
and
and move. Uh, what's his name? The second. Either way, like, yeah, I
yeah, Castro. Yeah,
Castro. I can't even remember his name. It's supposed
it's
to be
not worth it
right.
anymore. Yeah, I guess unfortunately they've been while the Cubs have been very transparent with their process as far as developing the talent and acquiring it and I guess running it through the system and letting it run its course. They've been very vague, and right now this is sort of like a time where I think they're going to have to start to be a little bit clearer as to what the thresholds are for some of these tremendous alleged. I hate to say allegedly tremendous because that just seems I think cynical and I don't know sour grapes or angry or something like that. But it almost feels like okay, there has what's the real threshold? Is it Baez hitting 400 in AAA? What is it? I mean, because yes, there is a point where he cannot develop anymore in the current talent pool that he's in. Um, I agree that he's going to have to see major league pitching at some point in time. If they're really worried about his psyche, and if this is what the question is at this point, oh boy, I
Well, and
think that's trouble.
I almost feel too like maybe some of their thoughts are like, well, if we bring Baez up, they might start winning, and then we get a worse draft pick. Like, I almost feel like Theo's main goal is just to get the number one draft pick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's, but no, Baez will help you win games. That's why he's not up here. Like, I, I kind of feel that way.
And that could be the case because I think right now the only thing that can quote Cub Theo is Tom Ricketts. I really starting to genuinely believe that. And what I mean by that is what's going to be the thing that is a linchpin that gets pulled out and the entire thing collapses or something goes wrong. And what we've seen happen before, time and time again, it just falls apart. And you have to start the process over, or you have to throw out a prospect and move on to the next one. I know Theo doesn't want to do that. And I don't know if it's a case of the psyche
Well, I think
of
that's why
some of
he's
these guys.
stockpiling them too, though. I mean, it's not like
Yeah,
Baez is the only one; he's just the best
right.
one. But there's like, what is there like six out of the top 100 or something like that? I mean, they have a ton of
Yeah.
potential superstars.
And these guys are sprinkled throughout those decades of that 100. We're talking some guys in the 90s, 80s, others in the teens, the 1 to 10 range too. So you're allegedly looking at really good, potentially great talent here that is set to rival that could set to rival names like Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, those sorts of players. The alleged great Billy Hamilton, but the speedster who can't get on base at the major league level, at least in one game. So it's I don't know, and we'll see what happens. I certainly don't think these guys are going to be called up before that arbitration clock resets. So no, you're not going to see them in May. They're not
No,
going to start that
that's right.
arbitration clock. That's something that I think Theo is. It's good for business. It's right now what's good for business, and I know we'll talk about more what's good for business here in a little bit. So let's see. Any other opening day thoughts?
I just no, and I love the segue of the best for business comments. I like that.
Well, what's not good for business right now is the Blackhawks and what they're going through right now. Injury plagued, injury riddled, and overall seemingly disinterested, I guess is the best way that you can describe their play at this point in time. Going on a 3 game road trip and coming back with 0 points. That's right, not even a tie in one of those three destinations, including Boston, Ottawa, and Pittsburgh. So rather depressing, rather hard hockey to watch because it just was very boring and lackluster. And I honestly refuse to believe that Brian Bickle is this big of a difference maker.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not just Bickle, but it's part of it. I mean, Roosevelt's
Yeah.
also out. Obviously, Kane's out now. Taves is they got him listed day to day. I don't see how he is day to day. I mean, it looked like his shoulder fell off.
Yeah,
Um, the thing is, they haven't been winning even with Taves when Taves was healthy. So, look, like you said, they lost all three on that trip. They've only won four out of their last 10. Um, they've fallen pretty much way behind St. Louis. That St. Louis thing is like, don't even look at that. Now you're basically
yeah,
battling Colorado for that second spot, and Colorado has a pretty good hold on it right now. As yeah, Colorado's only up by 1 point, but they have two games in hand for the Hawks. So
yeah.
I think the Hawks are pretty much going to be stuck in that three spot for the division, and you kind of just have to hope that they can flip that switch. I know a couple games they looked like they were disinterested, and then there's a couple of other games where they did look like they were playing hard and still couldn't come up with the correct result. So, and it's funny because when you look at even the games they lose, it seems like they're usually taking more shots, winning more faceoffs, all the stats minus like the hit stats
Yeah.
that you would associate with a victory. I think the only one where they pretty much really did get outplayed the entire game was Boston. Uh, they looked sloppy, and Boston looked like the best team in the NHL. And lately, they have been, as they've won, I don't know, like 50 in a row. It seems. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a pretty hot team. So obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I know that in their last 10, they've went 9-0-1. So they're playing
Getting
real.
points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really well. They're playing really well, and I wasn't shocked, I guess, by that outcome. I was shocked more by how poorly the Hawks looked.
Yeah.
But
I guess what I'm seeing right now with them is certainly the disinterest, the lack of concentration, just overall lethargic play, not acting smart, not playing the smart game. I don't know what the funk is. I agree. I hope that they can snap out of it. One thing that I guess I really think could be beneficial to them is to fall down to that first wild card spot because I really think that they have a better shot playing somebody like San Jose rather than Colorado. Colorado has just owned
they
them
would, yeah, they
through
would.
this
I
point.
think at this point they'd be playing Anaheim if they were. I mean, basically, it's so weird. Basically, then they'd be what, like basically the seventh seed, which is,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, there is no three, four, five, or six seeds, but then you bring in a seventh and an eighth seed. It really weird, but yeah, you know, I'm not afraid of Colorado in a seven-game series. I know they did they sweep the Hawks or
see, I think the Hawks only won one game.
okay, and but I know like I think one or two victories came from shootouts, and there are no shootouts in the playoffs. And just in a seven-game series, I don't think Colorado can hang with the Hawks. Um, when you spread four games out in a season, they can just catch the Hawks on a bad night, whatever. When you put
Mhm.
that into a series, you put them all together. Obviously, I think the cream rises. No, I'm about to do a Dan
The
Hampton,
corn rises to the cream. Yeah.
and
Um,
you know what I'm saying. And I think the Hawks would be able to take care of them. I don't want the Hawks messing around, falling too far back and end up maybe having to play the Blues in the first round because I don't like that matchup
oh
at
man.
all.
Honestly, it seems like from what I saw on Boston and in Ottawa, Boston just does not give them any space to operate. You saw whoever it was, Sharp. You saw a defender. You saw Keith. Someone was in his face. You saw Shaw. He was not getting in the crease. You're seeing guys that are just they're on them. It's white on rice. It is all those sorts of things. They're being blanketed. Whatever the technical hockey term is, they are just getting smothered whenever they're in the offensive zone. And a bigger team can be bigger and play to that size advantage. I do. It's hard for me to believe that this is just that if it is them being tired, this is how it's going to manifest, and this is how the ship's going to sink on a title defense going into the playoffs. But man, it's really almost making me question some of these, some of the players, and whether we should take into consideration size, age, both those factors. Yeah, I don't know, skating ability. I don't know.
See, I think all those things that you're questioning, I think they're okay on that. It's just, I mean, I do feel like the grind of, a season where
Mhm.
they had a very short off season due to them winning the cup
Yeah,
in a
condensed season.
condensed season with a very condensed off season. We mentioned it before that it was the shortest off season of any team ever in the four major sports. It's just the way the
Yeah,
schedule broke out. So I think maybe they are tired. Obviously, they're not healthy. We already mentioned that. I
right.
if Taves, they're expecting came back for the playoffs. If Taves is okay, Bickle I believe is supposed to play in the next game.
On Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think they would be okay in the playoffs. Obviously, it's still hockey. Anything could happen. They could lose to a crap team because Ottawa's not better than them, and
No way.
they outplayed Ottawa. But puck just it's just hockey. It's weird. So
Well, Ottawa gooned it up as well.
yeah, but I
So
mean, teams tried to goon it up against the Hawks in the playoffs last year, and the Hawks still beat them. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it
and maybe
it may
that's the
work
case.
for a
Maybe.
game, but I think in a long series, talent is gonna take over, and uh,
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I think Taves is the key, though.
Yeah. I seemingly he is.
Can we
It seems
sit
like he really
Hossa for
is.
the rest of the season too? Because I don't want him going into the playoffs with another concussion or something.
Another freak opaque injury of upper body, lower body, middle body. Anything like that. Don't need it at this point. Yeah, I almost feel like they have clinched the spot. They backed into it. Boy, if they could just kind of do what, just I don't know, tank the rest, not necessarily tank the rest of the season, but just get healthy. I think that'd be great. But man, it's very difficult to watch. It's not something we're used to, and we're not used to swallowing three losses in a row and seeing what they've really their record overall since the Olympic break. So just been difficult. But anyways, moving on to really what's good for business. It's been decreed the title match, the main event for something that I've really kind of gotten into recently. In WWE has recently been changed. They had a no disqualification match between Batista and Randy Orton last night on Monday Night Raw, and I was surprised. I looked at my guide. I only saw an hour, or excuse me, only 2 hours worth of Raw as opposed to the typical three and a half, whatever it usually is. And
No, something
uh,
happened. Raw was still 3 hours.
it well okay because I know that one of our former, I guess, mentor over at ICB lost the final hour
As
of Raw.
as did I. But see, something weird happened. I was because I got home and ate dinner, so I was only like maybe 10, 15 minutes behind. So,
Okay.
but I was watching it off of the DVR, so I caught
Uh,
up. I caught up within um like
during the Divas
within
match.
well no like within I mean with commercials and some of the
Yeah.
talking from the announcers, I caught up within like a half hour. So by 7:30 I was already caught up. So I'm still essentially watching on the DVR, but I'm watching on the DVR as it's still recording. So
Right.
I go to I believe during the Divas match, If it wasn't, then it was during another boring match, which a lot of Raw was boring this week. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
But so I come back and it shows that it stopped recording and like asks to delete the recording. And I don't know what that was. Raw was still on for another hour. I just flipped back to like the regular
Yeah.
USA
USA. Yeah.
network instead of watching it off the DVR. But like, yeah, so I don't know what they did. Uh,
Yeah, I think it was just a programming error from, I guess, the cable providers, if not the I don't know what we could call it. I guess the business, I guess, is the best way to put it.
mhm.
Because well, aside from DVR issues, you're right, it was boring, and I kind of figured, well, okay, I can understand them having a light week in preparation for WrestleMania, not just WrestleMania,
See, to me,
WrestleMania 30.
to
So
me, it should be we're trying to get as many buys as possible. That should have been the best Raw in months because you need to build that excitement for, okay, that was amazing. I can't wait for Sunday now. But
but I think they did. I think they hit on the two people. They hit on two of their players, characters, individuals that they needed to. They really, really needed to get in buys, eyes, and views. I really think they was, and that was John Cena, and okay, spoiler alert, Daniel Bryan.
okay, the John Cena thing. I mean, I like Cena more than I guess most wrestling fans. I'm not a huge Cena mark, but I don't understand the constant booze. Like save your energy for someone that deserves booze. He cuts he cuts better promos than anyone. Um,
Yeah,
and his in ring, no, he doesn't have the move set that say a Daniel Bryan or CM Punk have, but he can he can put on an hour long match and make it entertaining. Not a lot of guys can do that. What he did this week, if he did more stuff like that, there would be a lot less booze. It was more. I think the reason why he gets booed a lot is because his character and the way he speaks is more geared towards, I guess, kids. So the
yeah, it has
adults
to be.
whose voices are heard, okay, well, yeah, he looks like Barney the dinosaur, is The Rock put it either last year, 2 years, I don't remember. So
Wait, Barney Rubble or Barney the
Barney
dinosaur?
the dinosaur, because he wears
Oh, okay.
purple shirt or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, but I mean, this was like Cena. I believe he cursed. Did he curse in his little promo? I think he cursed, and the whole thing
Yeah.
when he took off that sheep's mask and just like his face, that was really good. That was entertaining, and of course the Daniel Bryan thing, as you mentioned, was entertaining. So I give Raw like there was maybe 6 minutes of, oh, that was pretty cool, and the rest of it I was like, eh.
Okay, what did you think of uh, have you lightened down your stance of Batista? I know we've been going back and forth
Oh,
on
I
Twitter
think he's
during Raw.
awful. And okay, this is my and I wanted to put it on Twitter, but instead I just texted my cousin, who's a big wrestling mark, and I texted him. I said, Batista is like struggling with his own identity. One week he'll show up in like a suit, with like a suit coat and try to look all like the fancy kind of how Triple H looks every so often, and then like
Corporate.
the next week he'll have camo on and John Cena type jorts, and then the next
Oh God, I hated that.
the next week he's got like a, a Patrick Ewing jersey on. What what
Georgetown Patrick Ewing.
like
Yeah.
I don't think he understands like his own look. Like he's still trying to find out like what's my look. I don't know. I'll try this week. Okay, they don't like me. I'll try this week. Okay, they don't like me. No, he's still
You,
terrible, and it's not
you
his
know,
fault. It's not his fault. It's Triple H's fault and the rest of the WWE higher ups that are giving us Batista in the main event at WrestleMania. I think Batista would have been better suited to have a match against even if it was his match against Undertaker to try to beat the streak, or something else, but not a Batista Brock Lesnar match would have been awesome, and then you could add Cena try to defeat the streak, and then you find something else for Bray Wyatt because to me I don't like the fact that Bray Wyatt is in a singles match. I think the Wyatt family should have some sort of six-man match, the way the
Okay.
Shield is doing.
I could see that. They have. I'm sure that will come into play. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes into play. With I guess. Do you really want to call it the Shield turn?
Well, it was a turn. I mean, it
Okay.
was quite deliberate, and the only part I didn't like about it was it now feels like they only did it because they didn't know where to put them in WrestleMania, so then they had to turn them so that they could face the heels in Kane and New Age Outlaws. It felt now, like looking back, I was like, okay, well, it makes sense because they get loud crowd pops and it's just
Yeah.
it was time for something. But like now, I feel like they forced it where they didn't. They could have maybe still had this match and not make it like because they're really forcing them like every week now. Like they're only going up against other heels now where
Yeah.
if they would still have them wrestle some baby faces, it would still feel like okay, they're still heels, they're just feuding with other heels, which I like. There was nothing better
Yeah,
than
like the Rhodes
well
brothers,
it,
like when they were going up against when
right,
they had their
and there
matches.
was nothing better than when the Wyatts were going up against the Shield. It was two heel factions and it was everyone loved it. So I don't think they necessarily needed to turn the Shield, and especially because Dean Ambrose does not feel like he is comfortable by being a face, and he doesn't. To me, he doesn't play it well. The other
Yeah.
two, Rollins and Reigns, I think they both can handle it. Reigns has some good character, and Rollins is just—he's so damn good in the ring that
Yes.
whatever his character doesn't even matter. He's just so good in the ring.
That's kind of where I've been coming from as just a complete as a complete rookie to this and just starting to kind of put my work in and watch it consistently for the past few months, I guess is the best way to put it. And just kind of getting to know these characters. I I almost feel like Ambrose is the weakest link to the Shield, and I liked for maybe the 2 weeks that it was going on, the infighting, maybe 3 weeks that was going on between Rollins and Ambrose and Reigns and Ambrose, and just how Ambrose was kind of like I guess he's the de facto face in front of the Shield, while Rollins and Reigns to me are more the muscle, the the executors, the ones that are really doing the show, the work, the ones that are putting in and giving tremendous entertainment to everybody else. And what did I say? I think I told Megan this week, or I think it was this week, or maybe on SmackDown on Friday, that Ambrose was just like a spider monkey. That's kind of what he's devolved to seemingly his style's devolved into.
Yeah, kind of crazy doing the Luthez press, the Stone Cold move. Yeah, kind of just jumping on you and keeping you down in a full mount essentially, and just punching you in the
Yeah.
head. And he definitely originally was. The Shield always said like the reason why they were so good is because they didn't have a leader, but you knew Dean Ambrose was that he was still the leader, the unnamed leader, I guess.
Mhm.
And then the Shield got a little stale. They started to realize that the crowd seemed to like Roman Reigns a little bit better.
Mhm.
Probably just because he has more of that look, that cool Samoan look. I mean, he does
Yeah.
he does look the part, and he looks pretty cool. And uh, he's developed his in ring abilities a lot over the last year. And so they kind of did start that feud, like you said, where it was like, okay, Reigns is starting to take over as the unnamed leader. And they were
Right.
having him feud with Ambrose. And then I thought, and probably a lot of other people thought that was going to be the WrestleMania match was going to be Reigns versus Ambrose. And reason, for whatever reason, I didn't like just it stopped. They kind of went the other way. Like, no, we're
Yeah,
not
like
gonna.
they had yeah,
Like
they
we're
had
not
like
gonna do this. Let's do this instead. And then they all of a sudden like you're supposed to forget about the feud, and
right.
wrestling fans are always supposed to have short memories, and like you're not supposed to remember that they were in the midst of a feud, and they just instead of turning one or two of them, they turned all of them. And I mean, it still works because they're getting loud crowd pops, and Ambrose, like you said, the way they've turned his in-ring character, I guess you would call it, the style,
Yeah.
stylistically, he's kind of like a spider monkey, like you said, just frantic, almost a Bob Backlund type, and I think that really works for him.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, I remember at one point you had all three of them. It wasn't even a match. It was just, okay, they're going to come out and talk. They're going to do their thing. They're going to come through the crowd, and then go to the ring and they and talk it out and whatever. But you had this power struggle. You had this. It was right there. It was on. It was at the precipice, just to fall out, to disintegrate, to have the infighting, have the turn is and have Reigns and Rollins. Are they gonna go up against Ambrose? Are they gonna take that away from him? Are they going to just completely, I don't know, insurrect against him? And then no, okay, we're all in this together. They all put their fists in, and they're like, okay, we're stronger, better together. We're more powerful together than anything. And it just seemed like such a cheap alliance at the time. But then the turn happened the subsequent week, and you're like, oh wow, okay, now now they're fun to watch, and now they're good to root for because you know the corporation's the bad face right now. They're the big bad face.
They're the
Um,
most hated heels of all time. And the reason why is because, I mean, Triple H really is part of the corporate team. He really is
yes,
making these matches. It really was his idea to have Orton versus Batista at the main event of WrestleMania. That was his idea. I mean, there's nowhere you're going to find this. It's not documented, but it's it is documented that he actually has um, he is part of the creative team. He has creative pull, and so it's obvious, and it's documented that Orton and Batista are actually his guys. Like those are his boys, and he's pushing them really hard. He thought apparently he thought everyone thought that was going to be the greatest thing ever. you know, uh,
and I didn't get that because to me they're the same guy. One's a little bit taller with bad bro tribal tattoos. The other one is shorter, more powerful, and yes, an animal with even crazier tattoos. They're seemingly mirror images of each other.
well,
And
look
while I'm
wise, but in ring they
yeah,
are quite different. I know you
yes,
really don't like Orton, but in ring he really is one of the best. And
he is good. I will never detract away from his ability. I
very few guys can sell moves the way he does. I mean, he really looks like, oh, that actually might have hurt him. And
yeah.
he can do that really well. There's other guys who don't. Batista does not sell moves at all. It never looks like he's hurt. Like like okay, you're making it look really fake. Like
Kind of like the Big Show, who allegedly Roddy Piper is declared as the favorite for the Andre the Giant 30-man Rumble.
they always make the bigger guys the favorites in the battle royals, and way back like in the 80s those were the guys who won.
Yeah.
John Studd won the first ever Royal Rumble, uh, and the bigger guys always won those types of things, and now it doesn't happen. I mean, Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble a few years ago, and battle royals are usually won just by the whoever the promoter wants to push at that time. So
Yeah, I guess it's really compelling. I'm on the fence, very much on the fence as far as breaking down and getting the WWE Network because, well, for the price of WrestleMania to watch it this one
Don't
time,
yeah, don't
I'm
wait
getting
until Sunday because I have a feeling there's gonna
yeah,
be a lot of people doing that, and then it's gonna
yeah.
not work out so well.
Oh yeah, but just some of the matchups that they're talking about. I mean, I don't think Brock Lesnar has a prayer against Undertaker. I
No,
just don't.
you could tell he's not gonna be the one. You could tell there
Yeah,
it has to be someone who has a future in the WWE and they want to make look great. Like it would have made a
yeah,
lot more sense for CM Punk to do it last year than Brock Lesnar to do it this year because you know Brock Lesnar is going to disappear after WrestleMania, anyways. Because that's his contract isn't. I mean, it's basically what's stated in his contract. Same thing with Batista. That's why you
yeah.
know he's either not going to win or if he does win the title, he'll lose it shortly thereafter, and then you won't
Right.
see Batista for a while.
And that's it. And with Batista, he just you said it before, in that it feels so shoehorned at the last minute, and they're just kind of scrambling to for him to beat up on whoever can, whoever's there, whoever's available. Like I'm serious, like Sheamus. Seriously, okay, but it just doesn't seem like any. It just his athletic physique. It doesn't look like anyone can match against him at this point in time. But I know that that's only a part of the factor when it comes into
Well,
wrestling.
that's
But
why he's there. I mean,
yeah,
it's like why Roman Reigns they're pushing him because
yeah,
he's bigger. He has the look. It's part of the problem with WWE. It's why guys like Daniel Bryan. I mean, yeah, I guess he's getting a shot, but look how long it's taken. Look how long it took CM Punk. Rollins, even though he probably deserves a shot over Reigns and Ambrose, he'll probably be the last one to ever get it because he doesn't have that size, even though he's way
hmm
better in the ring than both Reigns and Ambrose.
yeah. But going into what we were talking about, what I hinted before and had we tagged as a spoiler alert, in that Daniel Bryan did make an appearance, much to the quote surprise of Triple H during his promo time, stating that Daniel Bryan went to New Orleans to prep for WrestleMania. Shows up at the main event. I don't know, blindsides, I guess is the best way to put it. Hijacks, I don't know,
Jumps.
jumps. Yeah, I guess jumps is the best way to put it. Triple H, Stephanie just ran away, shrieking shrilly.
Very shrilly. Well, she was
As
shrilly doing. She was. If you didn't watch, she was doing commentary during the match, and she was
oh yeah,
shrilly during the match. It was
yeah. Overall, good. I mean, the during Triple H's promo, which was a very good promo.
I liked it. It was kind of
This
fun. He was.
it was.
They were boring me before they put up the little highlight thing. Then the highlight reel of him just beating all these guys that are no longer with the company. I kind of like that.
I started watching during my time off. I ended up watching a good amount of wrestling documentaries and just some of their, I don't know, biopics, not necessarily biopics, but documentaries of like Mankind. I started watching Triple H's, and I had no idea he was in the business for as long as he was. I was shocked. This is a guy that's a 20+ year vet now, and that's incredible to be around this much in the business. And you can see the evolution of wrestling right before your eyes in these highlight reels, from when it was concrete floors and and iron barricades. Now you see nice thick rubber padding all the way up the walkway, all around the ring. The barricades are padded. I mean, it just some of the safety changes that they've had, and it's done wonders, I think, for the business. But just to see him still have it, still be in such great shape as he is, and still care about the business as much as he does, I I really respect it. He's a great heel right now, especially as the COO of WWE, and I certainly think it's going to be a good matchup between him and Daniel Bryan. My prediction is that Daniel Bryan will win his match, just just to give him that,
Well, he
if
has
nothing
to,
else.
and
Yeah,
if Triple H wins, that means that Triple H literally is keeping Daniel Bryan back because this is Triple H's thing, and I know you're a big Triple H fan. A lot of wrestling fans aren't, and it's because of the behind the scenes stuff. He is known for keeping upcoming superstars back, and so a lot of old time wrestling fans, I guess, uh, don't like him for that reason. Um,
I just want
I
to know who the hell
I'm
who the
someone
idea of the Matadors is.
uh, that's bad. Well, I
Why are
like
they getting a shot?
I like the idea of the Mavericks because I love tag teams. I love a strong tag team division, and it's right now they have one of the strongest tag team divisions that they've ever had. That being said, I don't think they're one of the top tag teams,
Oh no.
and they're putting them in this title match, and that yeah, that kind of I don't even like okay, I don't like the fact that the tag title match is not on WrestleMania, but on the pre-show, which you can only
Yeah,
see
the
on the
WWE
WWE
Network.
Network. And also, I don't like having like four-way tag title matches because it, for one, it's not fair to the guys with the titles, and
Yeah.
two, with the amount of good tag teams that they have, I've really been trying to get my point across Twitter every so often, I guess, on Mondays, that I want to see a tournament for the number one contender for the titles because they have enough tag teams. They have 9 tag teams. If you want to break it down, like if you want to put a tag team from the Shield, a tag team from the Wyatts, and
Mhm.
go the whole way, you they can easily have 9 tag teams. So you'd have the tag team champs plus 8 tag teams that they could have a tournament for the number one contender. I think they should have had a one night because the pre-show is actually 2 hours. So you could have a tournament in the first 2 hours, and then on WrestleMania actually have a tag team title match with the
Yeah.
the winner of that against
Yeah.
the the tag holders. I think that would have been brilliant, but they're doing it their own way. Whatever. I need to work for WWE.
It's tremendous entertainment value right now, especially if you're just kind of getting into it or have been thinking about getting into it. Really good time. I did it. I think I got into it, what, say close to 3, 4 months ago, I think, maybe 5, but it's it's been a good ride so far. I've enjoyed it. It has become appointment television, and I guess it's a really good thing.
Well, it definitely is.
Because
I mean, it's very easy to get back hooked into wrestling when there's no Monday Night Football, because
yeah.
what else am I going to watch on a Monday night? It's even though I'm a huge wrestling fan, it's harder during the football season because it's like, well, I still rather watch a good football game. So,
You know what I think it is, and they've been showing it during SmackDown, the ratings and how the consecutive streaks going for being the leader of of Monday Night. I think it does go back to the end of Monday Night Football.
I'm sure it does. Hey, look, it's all the way since January. That's weird.
How about who would have thought that? No. But overall, it's been really good. It's some great stuff. I know we're going to try to have some more updates on here for that. And no, that's not an April Fool's joke. Well, with the lull in basketball season, the Bears doing some stuff though, which we didn't get to talk last week. Oh my gosh! Right after I do a little short show, they go out and make a big splash. How dare they?
Yes, and if you're listening to this show, then you probably watch enough sports that you've already heard this, since it was a week ago, since they screwed up our show by doing it
Yeah.
right after. Bears signed Jared Allen. I mean, it's a pretty big signing, and they got him for. Normally, it seems like whenever we talk about a signing of that kind of name in the city, we're like, oh my god, look at this contract. It's enormous and bad. This isn't a bad contract. It's actually a really good contract, and he's going to be making less money than DeMarcus Ware, who go ahead and compare their stats. Jared Allen has been better than DeMarcus Ware the last 2 seasons. So, um, how do you
Certainly more
go?
durable.
How do you go wrong with that? I
Yeah, I
think the
don't think you
Bears did a
do.
great move there.
Yeah, I was surprised. It was kind of like on that wish list of things that I'd like for them to do. I was, thinking about it before. I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, Jared Allen would be nice if, yeah, just to have on there as a line, kind of pick up the torch from Julius Peppers and what he's become a shadow of his previous career and time with the Bears, especially last season, and with some of the departures that we saw, Shea McClellan not really becoming what we as fans had wanted, and certainly not what the organization has wanted, especially in putting him now in a battle for linebacker. So we'll see how that goes during training camp. But I, wow, I mean, you got some good star power recognition. You got somebody that was just as recognizable, I think, as Clay Matthews in the NFC North over the past couple of years, and that's great. I think that's really great for the Bears as an organization, and the contract, like you said, this isn't the Julius Peppers contract. This is completely manageable, and they still have nearly $10 million if they cut Eric Weems at any point in time. So to have that kind of financial flexibility, even at this point, I wow, what a turnaround from what we're looking at compared to the end of the season.
Yeah, their defensive line has been basically redone, all with veteran players, and but there's depth there too. It's not like they only have four defensive linemen, and you're like, well, if
Yeah,
one of these guys get hurt, you're screwed. No, they've there's actually a little bit of depth there, and they haven't even. We're still a month away from the draft, where they can still address it with young guys for more depth. Also, you can address the linebacker situation. I think you have to, if you're the Bears, have to. Your first pick to me has to be safety. Has to be.
yeah. I think the lines right now it's either going to be
I mean,
defensive lineman or safety. Yeah.
didn't the Bears safeties win the tournament of bad? I'm pretty sure they did. If they did, I know they're in the finals against Wrigley Rooftop owners.
Yeah, they were bad. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know how the draft is going to go. I don't know if everyone's going to start flooding to offense or start flooding towards big defensive backs and the big athletic, strong secondary players. So corners, safeties, I guess nickel linebackers. Yeah,
Following the Seattle model.
yeah, and because it is a copycat league, and you'll see it go all copycat from season to season, and you can kind of trace this progression back. Certainly over the past 15 years. So, yeah, I think I don't know why, but it seemed like maybe everyone was a little too slow on the get a good quarterback
Well,
copycat.
there weren't that. I mean, there's not that many good quarterbacks. I'm just happy that the Bears
True.
are going to get possibly my second all-time favorite Bears QB is their backup QB in Rex Grossman. Well,
Really?
he was, yeah. I guess if they haven't signed him by now, they probably won't. But I know he did visit with the Bears over the weekend, and wouldn't that have been something as to sign
Oh,
Rex for the backup role, which I wouldn't have minded at all. But I know,
did he get leg extensions?
you know, that was never his issue. It was that he had small hands and he couldn't hang on to snaps. But he had the
Did he
best.
get big?
He had the best deep ball I had ever seen from a Bears quarterback until Jay Cutler came along. But I mean, even overall, I think Rex is the second best Bears QB I've ever seen. And I know people argue with me. They'll probably,
I think that's fair.
but I mean, he was talented and he had a rocket for an arm. So I think it'd be fun if he was the Bears' backup QB, and he would get some time too. I know Jordan Palmer probably wouldn't like that, but oh
Yeah, well, he's Jordan Palmer. If he wasn't Jordan Palmer, well, naturally he wouldn't be Jordan Palmer.
probably
So
wouldn't be here.
exactly. So All right, you got anything else?
Bulls are going to be the 3 seed and possibly beat the Pacers in the second round of playoffs, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat.
Don't
What
say that. Don't
the
say that.
F?
Don't say that. I don't want to know
Look
that.
at it. It's and like
Oh,
I
yeah.
at work I have to back up what I've been saying. So like I still have to be like, no, the Pacers are still going to beat them in the second round, even though it's probably not going to happen now because they are terrible. The Indiana Pacers are NBA East kind of bad.
Only an NBA East only type of bad.
Like, whatever.
They can only be that bad in the East. Only there. Oh man, gosh. And then we have to hear about statement games and that that the Bulls beat the Heat in all these statement games.
Well, I had a guy uh, at work, the same guy that I usually talk about. He comes to me, he's like, "Did you see what happened to the Pacers?" I'm like, "Yeah, the same thing that happened to the Bulls a couple weeks ago. Yes, the Spurs beat them by 30. The Spurs also beat the Bulls by 30."
Oh man. Oh gosh, just what we need. Just what we need. Another try hard Bulls team. Only.
Hey, if this tryhard Bulls team could beat the Heat in a series, that'd be great. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Thank you. Yes.
And
Thank
I'll
you.
root
Don't.
for them, but I already know the outcome.
Exactly. Exactly. That's where I'm at too.
Heat in five, basically. So Bulls will win game one. Everyone's going, see, and then the Heat go, okay, we're putting LeBron on apparently Joakim Noah because he's your best offensive player. Okay, maybe DJ Augustine is now. I don't know, whatever. But
Oh man.
he
Oh
has been
man.
playing really well. But either way, you put LeBron on. Yeah, you put LeBron on Augustine, and he won't even be able to make a. He won't even be able
Oh
to pass the ball. So
no. He'll be like, here, just take.
game over.
Exactly. Series over. Season over. Oh man. You got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, that does it for this week in Chicago Sports Update. Happy April Fool's Day. A little bit of spring teasing us here in Chicagoland, so we're happy about that. Only to dip back down to some more inclement temperatures. I should say, less seasonal temperatures. But spring is around the corner. We're almost there.
There's
We're almost out of
there's
it.
a joke there somewhere, but I can't think of one. Like I went
So,
to meteorological. Me, I can't even talk. I don't know. Something with with less.
the Dan McNeil School of
Yes.
Meteorology.
Yeah, and I'm going to the Mike North School of Talking right now.
Actually, I think that's the Bernstein School of Meteorology. Because that's his, yeah. That's his shtick. So
Yeah, I think Jimenez has taken it away though.
they both do. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I
with his
mean,
fishing, he's got to do his fishing. So got
yes.
to pay attention to those weather reports and those weather charts. So
And Bernstein's more into like doctor. He's like Doctor
medicine,
Bernstein now.
yes.
Yeah, more into
Bernstein
medicine.
School of Medicine.
Oh, speaking
Yes.
of listening, did you see the Don Baylor gif or what? I mean, well, I didn't even see a
No,
gif. I saw like a 15-second actual video of him. Like his leg like snapped in two, and like I don't know how.
no.
Like go, you have to Google it. Like
Okay, I'll take a
it's
look for it.
he he was on his knees, accepting like the first pitch of the season or whatever,
Oh,
and
okay.
like his leg just gives out. And I guess
Oh.
at first I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Like,
And then you see it.
well, and then I heard today that the reason why his leg just kind of broke was because he has some weird bone cancer, so his bones are brittle.
Oh,
So
jeez.
then, like, I'm like, oh, I guess it's not funny. But like, if you just see the video, you're like, oh my God, how did it break?
All right, I pulled it up on YouTube. If you're in YouTube, the first thing that comes up when you see Don is Don Baylor breaks leg. Oh,
Yeah, right? Like,
oh, oh my
and then
God.
he tries to
Oh,
get up, and like, it's not
I
working.
can't get up.
Like,
And then who is that? Vladimir Guerrero is helping
yeah,
him up. Oh no, I can't put weight on it because it's gonna break.
because it's broke.
Oh, he goes down, and he's down again. Oh man, And the medical staff finally comes out after about, I'd say, a good 15 seconds
Like
or
the
so.
first initial, like he somehow rolls his ankle and then his leg goes backwards. Like,
Poor guy. And he didn't even get hit by a pitch doing so. Uh,
and then the faces on the rest of the Angels are priceless. They're just like, oh my god, what is
Vladimir
that?
Guerrero was laughing.
Probably because he didn't realize that
You don't think he
Baylor
did?
broke his leg.
There we go. And that's. Oh, poor Don Baylor. Poor Don Baylor. So, anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the wrestling talk. Let us know what you think about that. You can email us at iappodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at iappodcast, as well as us on Twitter individually. I'm Matt_F_Kane, Kane, and you are
I don't even remember. What is it? I think it's
Brandon. Yeah.
Brandon_J_Banks.
Yes,
Okay.
standard spelling for all of those. Not J J
I
A.
don't often tweet myself, so sorry for that.
That's all right. Just like you don't call yourself, and that's okay. So, all right. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Enjoy, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to Chicago Sports Update here on Intrepid Audio Productions. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching IAP Podcasts, all one word. We make it easy to listen to us at home or on the go because you can subscribe to us via iTunes or on your browser at Spreaker.com. Listen to us on the go with the Stitcher Radio app, available for all smartphones. Want to interact with the team directly? Leave any questions, comments, or feedback you may have at our Facebook page. You can also like our page to know about special events, shows topics, and listen directly on our page to new and past episodes. Feel free to email us anytime at iappodcast@gmail.com. IAP Podcasts, pioneering the best in independent podcasting.